So I got 3 Hendrix style riffs, 2 lead licks, and kind of a rhythm riff. I'm going to play it on my super old 3-year-old Stratocaster. Very badly beat up. See if we can get a sound out of it. The first lick requires a little bit of strength, and you're going to take your third finger up here on the 8th fret, and we're staying in A minor, which is where, it's a great place to stay. We're in this kind of position, the A minor blues position. But I'm going to go on the first string, the 8th fret, and I'm going to pull up with my third finger. And the thing that my teacher showed me early on that's the key to pulling strings is to use the other fingers to help. So I'm pulling up, but I'm not just using this finger. I'm using all 3 fingers to push. And then I get all this strength from all 3 fingers. Okay? And then the action is, of course, the turn of the wrist to bring everything up. Like you pretend there's a string attached here and it just pulls it up. So I'm going to pull up on this note. I'm going to strike it. And then naturally the next string kind of gets tucked under this finger. And one of the things that he did that was so brilliant, he would strike that string and then just switch over to it. And it happens pretty naturally if, as you're lifting up and using all 3 of these fingers pulling up, you'll notice that the second string gets tucked under your finger. Just strike it and then let your fingers drop down. And then the next thing you might want to do is strike that note. It's the next note of the phrase. So you've got 3 notes now. And that's with your index finger on the B string, 5th fret. Just let it fall and then grab that note. And then I'm going to do the same action on the next 2 strings. So go 1 string into the B string, 8th fret, pull up again, strike the next string that is tucked under your finger, and then play exactly the same corresponding note on the 3rd string. So it's basically 2 of the same actions. Same action on the next string over. And this one's kind of cool because you're going from the flat 5 note, which is one of the bluesy kind of, sweet kind of bluesy notes. So we start again. Pull up, all 3 fingers pulling. Notice that the next string gets tucked under. Strike it. Let it fall. On the B string, grab that note. And then start on the B string. Pull up exactly the same. Grab the next note. Let it fall. And then just for good measure, we put a button on it and land on that note. The thing about soloing is when you play riffs, it's your landing notes that kind of give you all the confidence. So it doesn't matter if you hang yourself way out on a limb. As long as you land on one of these nice anchor notes, you're going to sound like you know what you're doing. So one more time, really slow. E string, pull up. Let the next string fall. Drop down 3 frets. Then do it on the next string over. Put a button on it. Vibrato. And the good vibrato for me comes from the wrist, as always. You can exaggerate and learn that by shaking the guitar. There's riff number 1. Riff number 2, I'm going to take my 3rd finger and do it. I actually kind of made my first finger sore today, so when I go like this with my first finger, it actually hurts. So this can be done with your 3rd finger or your 2nd finger or your 1st finger. I'm going to do it with my 3rd finger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant it. We have our A minor chord here. Rather than using the index finger, I'm going to plant the 3rd finger on the top 2 notes of the A minor chord. And that's the E string and the B string and on the 5th fret. And just make a bar. So you want to mash down with the flesh of your finger. Not too hard, but just hard enough to make the strings ring nicely. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to slide it in kind of a pentatonic shape. So my first slide up is going to be 3 frets up. Here we are at the 1 and 5 of A minor. We're going to slide up 3 frets, slide up 2 frets, slide up 2 more frets, and then back down. And what I'm doing is I'm striking, and I'm making sure that I hold the strings down firmly enough so that they still sound and still create a note when I land. Check it out. And then I do it again. I strike, slide up, the same action in reverse. And this is a pentatonic blues shape, so I'm going up 3 frets, up 2 frets, up 2 frets, and then back down. And if you can work up some speed on this, it becomes, which is a really common and beautiful Hendrix style move. Okay, lastly, I'm going to do a rhythm thing, and this is really, really fun, and you can get kind of sloppy with this. So it's really based on 2 notes, and once again, I'm anchoring here in A minor, this really familiar place that we're sitting. Take your index finger on the low E string, 5th fret. That's your anchor note. And then you go up 3 frets to the 3rd, the bluesy note, with your little finger. And this is good because it gets that little finger into the action, which always needs strengthening. And I'm going to play this note first on the 8th fret, low E string, strike it. And I'm going to drop down and strike that note, the A note. So here's a C note, here's an A note. And I'm going to start repeating it. I'm going to go. And that's the pattern. Let me do it really slowly so you can get the rhythm of it. 3 and 4 and... I'm leaving a little space after the first note so I create this rhythmic phrase. One more time. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw some dirt into it. And I'm going to start whacking the guitar with my right hand. Let me do it really slowly. I'm going to put a little in between the phrases. I'm going to go. Let's see what the right hand's doing. The right hand's going. Really slowly. Really slowly. Now I'll bring the notes in. And this is a thing where I'm aiming at the low string. The amazing thing about the guitar is that once you get a little bit of facility on it, you can actually kind of aim loosely at strings. And it's amazing how you can just grab the strings you want. So I'm just going to aim for the low E string. And I'm going to play this riff. And I'm creating a little in between each phrase. And that's what kind of gives its swagger or whatever. Just to describe it to the nth degree, 2 downstrokes on the actual musical notes, and then a down up for the chicka. Pretty easy. And I'm just aiming, it's like I'm aiming across the guitar, kind of, I'm trying to get on the camera, kind of like this, so that I'm just striking the low E string. And the more you flail and the more you get other strings in, the kind of more exciting it sounds. And you don't be shy about things kind of getting out of control. So.